Hello, and welcome to Soulfessions. I'm your host, Molly Ray. To live a life full of joy, happiness, and connection, to connect with our most authentic self, we must be willing to confess where we are in life. I have worked through many traumatic life events, including giving birth to twins 3 months early. My healing began when I was ready to confess exactly how I was feeling and the work I needed to do to release the pain. I honored my feelings and used my loving connection with music in the healing process. Join me as I speak honestly about my journey and how you can begin your journey of healing and finding joy. It all starts with a Soulfession. Hello, it's Molly. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. I hope you are all having a wonderful week. Today, I want to have a conversation about depression, mostly childhood depression, and I want to talk about finding hope in those moments. And the reason why I want to talk about this today, I found a booklet that I had from my childhood that has poetry in it. And the poetry is full of a lot of sad poems that really describe the place I was in growing up. Most of my childhood, I was depressed. And I really think no one, or very few people, even knew. Because I was really good at hiding it. And I think a lot of people who suffer from depression are really good at hiding it. Because most of us don't want people to know how much we are suffering on the inside. And for me, a lot of my depression as a child came from feeling unloved. It came from feeling not good enough. It came from feeling like a black sheep and feeling like no one really understood me. I grew up in a house of people suffering from depression. And as I know that my parents did the best that they could in the mental state that they were in, it's really hard to feel loved and wanted and supported in a toxic environment. As an adult, I can see that my parents did the best that they could. But that doesn't mean that it was anywhere what I needed as a child. And I know that I had to go through these experiences to grow and be the person that I am today. And I know that I had to go through these things in life so that I could support other people who were suffering from depression. But as a child, it was dark and it was lonely. The only thing that kept me going every day was the belief that I knew that God did not put me here to be miserable. I remember especially middle school and high school was extremely difficult for me. I think the depression really escalated at that time. I remember spending a lot of time in my room crying. I remember spending a lot of time in my room thinking about suicide. But I knew that God did not put me here to be miserable. And it was that belief. It was that belief and that it was that hope. It was that belief and it was that hope that got me through it. And I didn't think that this podcast was going to be so hard to record. But thinking back and just remembering how lonely I felt and how empty my heart felt, it just really breaks my heart right now for that little girl. I truly believe, though, I truly feel that it's really difficult for us to be honest when it comes to having such terrible emotional feelings. And it's really hard to be honest about those. And it's really hard to be courageous enough to be honest about it, because we are so afraid as a society that we are going to be judged for it. And I'll be honest right now, the tears that are coming up for me is a lot of old tears. It's the belief that I couldn't be honest about my depression and my pain. It's the fact that for the first time in my life, I'm willing to talk openly and honest about it. And for me, crying is so cleansing. I even said this before on my joint podcast that I have, The Butterfly Connection. We've talked about how crying is cleansing in one of our episodes. And it's amazing how we can bottle so much up inside ourselves to the point where we think that we've done the work to release it all and to heal from it. But sometimes things just creep back up again. And I just talked about this last week in What is Soul Movement. And part of the reason why I felt so guided today to talk to you about depression and about holding on to hope is that I thought I was completely healed from this. And it turns out that there's still a little bit hanging out down below there in the deep, dark depths of my soul. But the beauty about this is the more I talk about it, the less I want to cry about it, and the better I feel. And I want to support you today. If you have had depression, if you have suffered from depression, if you are suffering from depression, reach out and ask for help. Reach out and ask for guidance. Be honest with it about someone that you can trust. It is so helpful to talk about it. Because as we gain the courage to talk about our depression, to talk about the depression, to talk about the negative thoughts and feelings and emotions that we are feeling inside of us, the feelings of worthlessness, the feelings of not being good enough and not being wanted and not being loved, and all of the terrible thoughts that come in to our minds as we suffer from depression. We have to get to a point in our lives where we say enough is enough. Because you can either allow the depression to continue to govern and navigate everything that you are thinking and feeling, or you can look for the hope, because there is hope in the darkness. And you are a beautiful being. You are a beautiful soul. And you were put here, whether you believe in God or the universe or whoever you believe in or whatever you believe in, or even if you just believe in you, you are here for a purpose. The light that is inside you, no matter how dim it may feel or seem right now. It is there. It has purpose. It has meaning. You are an important part of this world. You are an important part of this lifetime. And it is so important that you learn to believe that. And one of the biggest ways that you can pull yourself out from depression is, again, by reaching out for help. Reach out to someone who is able to be an ear for you. Reach out to someone who can coach you, who can give you therapy, who can do something to give your soul what it needs. I want to share with you a poem I created as a child. I did not put a date on this, and I would definitely say this is probably something from somewhere around the age of 12. And I want to share it with you. It's entitled Nobody Came. She waited, but nobody came. Every hope she ever had slowly seeped out of her body, and she waited, but nobody came. Not once did this young child shed a tear. She was much too proud to. She waited in a corner, waited for someone who cared, but nobody came. She began to wonder why her mother left her side, why she abandoned her. She did not understand, so she still waited, but nobody came. Soon there was nothing but darkness, and the young child fell asleep. She dreamt about a marvelous thing, and when she woke up, she didn't need to wait any longer. Finally, somebody came. If you can resonate and relate to this, I want you to continue to have hope, to find hope, because somebody will come. And sometimes when we are in the deep darkness, it is hard to even see that maybe someone did show up, or maybe someone has already come. But I want to let you know and assure you that you have angels and guides who love you, who support you, who are there for you, even though you may not be able to see them. You have loved ones on the other side who love you and support you and are there for you. Hang on to hope. You can pull yourself out of the darkness. And if you see someone who is in pain, or if you get that feeling like something is wrong, if you have a friend or a family member or a child, and who they are, who you know they are, has changed, if it looks like the spark in their eye has dimmed, please don't back off. Please don't try to turn a blind eye from the situation and ignore what could be going on. Reach out and let them know that there is somebody in their corner, that there is somebody who cares about them. Reach out and let them know that you are a safe space to be an ear. And if you need that from someone, find the courage to talk to the person that is coming up to you. Find the courage to sit down with someone you know and trust and love and be honest with them as to what is going on. Because that first step is the biggest step you can make in pulling yourself out of depression. It's the biggest step that you can make to finding hope. And when you find hope, you are giving yourself the opportunity for forward movement, for soul growth, for soul movement. So this week, if you are someone who needs help, who is feeling depressed, who is feeling sad, I want you to reach out to someone. I want you to look for hope. And if you are someone who thinks that you know someone who may be suffering from depression, who may be having a hard time, who may be sadder, or may seem like they've lost the spark in their eye, I want you to reach out to them. I want you to show love and support and kindness, or give them a hug or whatever, because everyone is here for a purpose. We are all here for a purpose. And even though times in our lives can become darker than we could ever believe them to be, there is hope. And you can pull yourself out of it. And you can become stronger for it. I am a child of depression. I am an adult who has suffered from depression. I am an adult who still sometimes struggles with depression. And that is okay, because I know that there is hope in the darkness. I am blessed to have learned the tools that work for me to help pull me out of the times when I'm feeling depressed. I am blessed to be able to recognize what it looks and feels like so that I can do the work. And every time I do, I come out stronger. I come out with a deeper knowing of who I am. I come out with a deeper love for who I am. And I am so grateful to have my music, my connection with music. I'm so grateful for the friends in my life. And I am so grateful for the spiritual work and the spiritual teachers in my life that I can reach out to when I need help. And I encourage you to do the same. And if you are looking for some soul movement coaching, you can locate my services on my website, tuneinwithmolly.com. I am here. I am here. And I love you. I see you. And you are a beautiful being of light. Have a blessed and beautiful week. Much love and light to you. Thank you for tuning in with me today. If you are enjoying the podcast, please like it and share it with your friends and family. To learn more about my soul movement coaching, sound therapy, and other services, you can visit my website at www.tuneinwithmolly.com.